All right, welcome to chapter 4. In this chapter, we are talking about managing inventory and production. All right, let's go right into our Excel problems today. Olin Hayes is responsible for managing the inventory at the Dobby restaurant, the Dobby Road Retirement Center. Olin purchases a variety of items by the case, and he prefers to inventory all of these items other ways. For example, he purchases beets by the case. Each case of beets contains 6 cans, but Olin wants to calculate his inventory value based on the number of cans of beets he has in inventory, not the number of cases. Use the following chart to calculate the preferred inventory value. Dollars per can, jar, or bottle that Olin should use for each item listed based on the purchase unit cost of each item Olin holds in his inventory. All right, so we see here beets, okay? He gets a case of beets, okay? Think about 6 cans saran wrapped together, and that's a case. But when he opens them up and uses them and puts them on the shelf, whatever he has left, he counts them by the each, okay? So if we're determining how much each can costs, we will take our purchase unit cost, which is the case. We're going to divide that by the units in that case. All right, same thing with chicken base. Okay, he gets a box. There's 12 jars in there. So we'll take our purchase unit cost. We're going to divide by the 12, and each jar costs us $8.01. Ketchup, same thing. We buy that case, but there's 24 bottles in the case, making it 81 cents per case, or per bottle. All right, soy sauce. He buys the case, 4 gallons in that case. Let's get that cell correct. E12. And cocoa mix. He gets 1 bag. There are 10, 1 case, and there's 10 bags in there. Okay, if you're having trouble visualizing this, think of like a 12 pack of Coke. Okay, let's say you buy a 12 pack of Coke for $6. Once you open that, you're not going to inventory it as 7/12 of a case. You're going to go ahead and say there's 7 cans in there, and each of those 7 cans is going to be 50 cents. So again, if you're having a hard time visualizing that, think cans of Coke. All right, in question 2, we're talking a little bit about liquor inventory. And in this one, Jack operates the Spartan restaurant. He's taking the end of month inventory in the restaurant's bar. When calculating the value of his spirits, he uses the tenths method of estimating product value. He's accounted for all the spirits behind spirit product held in his liquor storage area, and now he's calculating the value of his behind the bar inventory. He's completed the process for all the products he serves except for gin. Let's help him arrive at an ending inventory value for gin by completing the following portions of spirits inventory value sheet. Okay, so liquor, a full bottle is a full bottle, but once it's open, there's still value to that partial bottle, and it's very important that we get it that when we inventory the item, we get it as close to that actual level as possible, because there are some bottles out there that are pretty expensive, $100 bottles, that if we inventory them as a half bottle and they're actually, let's say, 0.25 of a bottle, that's a $25 difference in your inventory value. So when we inventory liquor, a lot of times we use tenths of bottles, and it's important in this instance that you have some consistency in who's ever taking the inventory, because they're going to tend to call the same levels the same numbers consistently, as opposed to like when there's someone else taking the inventory, they might call let's say a half, they might call it like 0.7 or something like that. Okay. So we're going to take our product value. We're going to take our cost per bottle. We're going to multiply it by the amount that we have on hand. And that's how we're going to get our value here. So you have 2.3 bottles, $26.45 worth of gin. Let's go ahead and let's use this formula for the whole, for the entire worksheet here. Now, we can't sum the cost per bottle and sum the amount on hand and get the correct total. Okay, that won't be correct. So we'll go ahead and we are going to sum up our total product value here. And we come up with $282.63. Question number 3. Now, Kylie Minogue manages the 4-person ingredient staff room at the 800-bed Parkview Hospital. One tool Kylie has developed to monitor his inventory levels on a daily basis is a requisitions and issues record that records all the daily inventory items requested by the kitchen's production staff and issued by Kyle's storeroom staff. The record Kyle maintains usually indicates the monetary value of issues made. Help Kyle complete part of yesterday's requisitions and the issues record below. Okay. So they have asked for 25 pounds. They've asked for, in this column here, we have the requested amount. They've asked for 25 pounds. We typically store it as a 25-pound bag. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to issue them one bag. So we can issue them one bag at $25 for that unit. Now they asked for 3 pounds of beef base, and it comes in a 1-pound jar. So we'll give them 3 jars at $7.15 a jar. Now they've come to roast beef. They've asked for 50 pounds. Now, when it comes to whole meats and things like this, your issuer is going to get as close to that amount as possible. But they can't just go out to a cow and say, hey, is your prime rib or something 50 pounds? Let's take this one. We get as close as possible because it's, you're usually going to be somewhere around there. You don't want to have to, like, if you make like a roast beef or a prime rib or something like that, you don't want to cut off 4 pounds of roast beef because that's not how that item is prepared, and it will kind of ruin the quality of that meat because it's made as a whole roasted beef, okay, or roasted whole portion of that meat. So what we'll do is they ask for the 50 pounds, but we're going to give them 54 pounds, and we are going to charge them the $6.24 because they did get that product. Now they've asked for 78 pounds of potatoes, but they come in 40-pound boxes. So we're not going to pull out the 2 pounds. We're going to go ahead and give those to them. And we will charge them the 2 times the 15 pounds for $30. And then for the broccoli, they've requested 61 pounds. We're going to give them 21 3-pound boxes, which comes out to 63 pounds. And again, they're going to pay for that. So we will multiply the 21 boxes times the 255. And the reasons why we issued them a different amount is because of how they came, and there's not much you could do with 2 pounds of potatoes in a large operation like that. So it's best just to go ahead and hand those off to your requester. All right, question number 4. Robin Christopher uses bin cards to manage the wine inventory at the Michelin-starred Riverside restaurant. Each of his wines held in inventory has its own bin card. The bin card for 100 Acre Cabernet, listed on the menu as $450 per bottle, is presented below, along with its purchase and sales activity for the month of October. Make the appropriate sales entries for the card for the month of October to determine how much of this wine Robin should have in inventory on each of the days listed, including the end of the month. All right, so this card, because it's listed on the menu as $450 per bottle, it's probably coming in at, $250, something like that. That's pretty expensive if we're missing one bottle. So it's important that we keep a very close eye on that every single day. So we start with 23, and it looks like we sold on the 3rd, we sold 2. So we are going to take what we started with, and we're going to subtract the 2 that we sold. Now the next day we sold 1. So let's see if we can use this formula here. And we can. So we should be down to 20. We sold 5. And that brings us down to 15. Now we got an order in. So we are going to add what we're going to add what came in. And if we want to again make this formula work for the whole entire chart, we will go ahead and we will subtract what left, which was nothing in this instance, but this formula will work for the entire column. All right, so now we're back up to 27, and let's see if this formula works for us here. And it looks like here we're down to 25. We sold another 2, we're at 23. We sold 4, we're at 19. So it looks like this works for us. Okay, now what would it mean if Robin took a physical inventory at the end of October and there was actually 1 less bottle of inventory than indicated on the wines bin card? Okay, so let's say October 31st rolls around. Instead of having 17 bottles, he actually has 16. Okay, now if he doesn't keep record of this every single day, he can't see where that error is. Okay, so if he comes here and he sees there's 16, but we started with 23, we got these orders in, there's 31 days here with it where this could have happened. Okay, but if he comes in on this day and he sees that there is 16, but yesterday there was 18 and he only sold 1, he has 2 shifts that he can look at. He can look at the end of the 30th, but pretty much he's looking at the 31st to see who's on schedule, to see who might have made this mistake. He can check his POS reports. But if he has to search back the entire month, the chances of him finding that error and that theft are going to be pretty slim to none.